It's so weird.
We have to start again. We cannot start like that.
Welcome to the True Colours podcast, where we share our views on life, relationships, and culture, exploring big questions and providing simple answers to them, with your hosts, Jay Claire and Sally Olver.
Hey! JC!
What's the name of our show?
What is the name of our show? We're getting old, brother. I've forgotten. What's it called? Oh, True Colours podcast, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Basically,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Yeah. So, word on the street has it that my Eastern counterparts are back in home jail.
Oh, damn you, Sally. Damn you for reminding me.
I'm sorry, but we need to address it.
Yeah.
I would be pretty ticked off if I was you.
Yeah. See,
I'd
there's
be
a couple
slightly...
there are a couple of things, right?
Yep,
which
bring it.
I consider myself a fairly reasonable person.
Yeah,
And I am reasonable. Like, I can
Stretch.
recognize that
It's a
we got a virus. We got a virus. It's killing old
Yeah.
people. Like,
yeah,
they get it.
that's not good.
Yep.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah. So we should be doing what we can to protect the vulnerable as much as we can. So,
100%.
you know, if they're vulnerable, do whatever you can to keep that disease out of where they live. Help them out. Obviously, they can't leave their home because it can be very difficult if they get interaction with someone. Cool. I don't understand the notion of just locking everyone else up. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think the negatives attached to that far outweigh the positives. So, and what I mean by that is, I think there was a study done, I think dependent on the amount that the unemployment grows to, I think it was for every 3% would be the equivalent of 750 to 1,500 people committing suicide. There's a correlation between that over the time. So, you know, it's looking like it's getting, I think they've noted it's at about 13% now. And once this JobKeeper ends, it's going to be even worse. So,
Yeah.
and you factor in the fact, what's the statistic around Beyond Blues, like phone calls skyrocketed as well. So
Really,
look,
in the East.
Yeah. So there's this thing where people don't understand the notion of trade-offs. And so everything that I would say nearly every decision you make has got like physics, an opposite reaction, right?
Every action has an equal reaction.
Correct. So in this case, it's a bizarre philosophical thing to think about, but this is basically what it is. On one hand, you're choosing to protect the most vulnerable from the virus so that they don't get it and die. So, or you're choosing to, and because you choose to do that, the flip side to that is that lots of younger people will take their lives take their life from stress, depression, you know, all the burden of all these financial burdens that they've got. You know, and to some of these people, like, the best option for them is to kill themselves. That is just mind blowing.
That is,
I've never been able to understand suicide. Like, I'm like, oh man, you must be in a
very dark place. Very dark place.
That is intense. So when I go to this, I'm like, well, okay, does what's happening right now really justify the extreme reactions? Words are important, and the fact that they use words like crisis and booming, I think, is very dangerous. Yeah, it's using alarmist words, and people are freaked out. So I can understand when I see these people walking down the streets like idiots with their face masks on, even in their cars, driving around like thinking like it's some kind of toxic airborne virus, when it's not. It's not that. Someone needs to cough in your face, something like that, for you to really be at risk, or talking to you and, you know, some saliva gets into your nasal passage or into your mouth. That's how it happens. It's not this virus that's floating around in the air. And I think that's what people think it is.
Well, then how is it that, like let's take Italy for an example. Then if it's not an airborne virus, how is it that so many of them were infected?
Conversations.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah. So that's why, like, at supermarkets, nothing's happened. You don't talk to anyone in the supermarket. You just walk. They don't even look at me, mate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Don't look at me at the no. There's no discussion at supermarket. But that's you and me. There are people that would behave differently in a supermarket. So I feel like what they're trying to do is prevent any possibility of that happening.
Yeah.
I think that's the logic.
The way that I've explained it is, or the way I rationalize it is, it's governing your whatever you look after as a politician by judging everyone else by the lowest common denominator. So what would the actions be of someone who's, well, I don't know, what's the word to explain someone like that, disrespectful of others?
A non-law abiding citizen.
Yeah, and it makes people like me and many other people that I know frustrated, because we know we can live this distanced life without breaking any rules, but it doesn't make sense to me to say don't go to a park or don't take your kids to a park.
Yeah.
All that stuff's dumb. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like,
yep.
So yeah, and then there's the fact that even in Victoria so everyone either loves or hates this guy, the current Premier Daniel Andrews, who has made two clear missteps. So for one, there was that whole international travellers returning quarantining.
Yeah.
And instead of using the Australian Defence Force to be the line of protection of this quarantine service, they decided to use, unlike every other state in Australia,
the police.
They decided to use private security. Private security.
Oh, wow. Big guns.
Randos from the street who got like a 30-second induction, and then it's like, hey, yeah, go. And then there's like all these scandals now where apparently like there was someone in there who was offering favors to some of the people who were in quarantine to get returned favors back, if you know what I mean. It's so bad.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one is the other mistake Daniel Andrews made was, and he needs to own that decision, he chose to use a private security company rather than already tax-funded Australian Defence Force. They weren't doing anything. Here's something for them to cost nothing. Makes no sense at all. And then the second one was in the hysteria of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously, that transcended waters, and Black Lives Matter had a demonstration protest here in Melbourne right when things were getting good. That's the COVID. And Daniel Andrews, instead, he played the soft card, and instead of going, look, these are the rules currently at the moment. If you go, you will get fined, because just like other people who had protests, if they weren't aligned with a virtuous movement, they were berated for being, they're going out in public and going to risk granny's lives. But when it came to Black Lives Matter, it was okay. It's intellectual dishonesty when it comes to judging two separate things. If one thing's not okay during a lockdown, then the other thing's not okay.
Absolutely,
so
I agree.
By not protecting that and saying that people could do it and they wouldn't get fined, whilst he wasn't giving them explicit, no, you can't. He was saying, I recommend that you not. That's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's too open.
So, and then what happened was just two people caused 242 extra cases like that. So that decision put Victorians' lives at jeopardy, because he did not take a tough stance, just like they did with everything else.
Yep.
There are now 240 other infected people. I would sue the government if I was them.
Right. for compromising your life
Yeah,
and the lives of others.
100%.
Your family's life. Yep. Your colleagues.
That's a miscalculation in leadership. That is terrible leadership. It's fence sitting, taking sides in certain topics, which I believe are extremely uninformed as well.
Yeah.
I think that's a whole other discussion. The whole Black Lives Matter.
We will do a very intentional episode on that. Jason and I, that will be coming in the next few weeks, but we've got a few things to say about that, don't we?
Yeah, and the gist of it as a preview is that there's two sides to Black Lives Matter. There is the organisation, and then there is the sentiment and movement.
Yeah.
What the words mean. Black Lives Matter. Like, no one disagrees with that term. And then there's the political organisation.
Yeah.
Called Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
So
really good.
We'll discuss that another time. But onto the fun stuff, Salsna.
Yeah, because we got real deep real quick. And we do that. And I love that. I love that about this show. Like, we can go deep, we can go light, we can go heavy, we can go home. You know, there's flexibility. I enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we thought we would add a little bit of light to this shade with a little round of would you rather. Would you rather? Yeah, I tell you, you know what I love about Would You Rather? You really get some crystallized insight into the moral compass of others. You know, it's important.
I see where you're going now. You're going like a really edgy rathers rather than like.
Oh, not really. No, not really. No, mine. The ones that I've written, I actually really want to know how you feel. But you like, I mean, you can. Would you rather, like, you know, you can go really easy, like, would you rather the rain or the sunshine? Or you could go, would you rather Labor or Liberal? Yeah, right. So there's a spectrum. But yeah, we'll keep it light today. And you know what? Further episodes, bro, we can crank it up a notch. We can get edgy. If that's what you're doing.
Do you prefer meth or heroin?
Neither.
Too deep? Too soon?
I enjoy my life. And on that note,
I've thankfully never done any of those.
Yeah,
because they do not look like they have good results.
No. I'd say the poster children for methamphetamines and heroin.
Not good.
Questionable.
First one,
bro. Would you rather be rich or famous?
I would rather be rich.
Any day of the week. That's like
famous.
That's like a no-brainer, right?
You're famous. You're famous money
reasons.
without the famous attention. Like, that's what you want, right?
100%. Like, rich or like, there's no, because if you're in this day and age, especially in this day and age, if you're famous, you're not necessarily rich. You could be crazy famous and like homeless.
Can you please give me an example of this crazy rich homeless person?
I actually don't know any famous homeless people personally, but it's possible, right? Like, you can be, okay, I've got an example. I do. Okay.
Homeless was once rich person. I saw this one, a basketballer called Delonte West. Was a pretty good player, actually. He played for the Boston Celtics for a while, like a point
No.
guard. Yeah, and I saw this probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And you know when you're just scrolling online and you see I saw this, it was like a blog article or something like Delonte West now a drug addict, homeless person.
That's
And
so sad.
And it got beaten up like bad in the middle of the street.
No.
And people recorded it. And I'm like, what's wrong with people?
Well,
Why don't they go help?
Okay, that I don't understand. That is scum of the earth. Someone is getting beaten and you go, where's my phone? I can't even talk to those people.
How has not anyone actually said that about even George Floyd?
Oh, it's
Why
I'm
is no one saying
sure
anything?
someone with, some kind of moral barometer has flagged that, hello, do you want to use that phone that you're using maybe to call for help?
Who you calling? The police?
Yeah, I know. I heard it. I don't even know what to say. Another episode. But I did think of someone who was famous. I don't know whether he's rich or not, but cast your memory back. I'm thinking maybe 15 something years ago.
Mm.
Now, I thought this guy was awesome, but you probably wouldn't have if you were this guy's parents. Can you remember Corey, who put on Facebook that his parents were going away, and there were
Yeah.
hundreds upon hundreds of kids that rocked up, and he was an international sensation. Like, they knew about Corey. Like, he was from our hood.
Was he from Narry?
Yeah, he was. That's it, from Narry. He was from Narry Warren. And he was this flash in the pan. He's the quintessential flash in the pan, famous, like worldwide, right? But my question is, and then what? That might have been enough for Corey. And if so, power to you, Corey. Like, not imposing, but for me, if it's a choice between that and being set up for life, I know what I'm choosing. Another example's Gangnam Style. I mean, that guy.
Someone made a lot of money from that's for sure.
Well, he's rich and famous, isn't he? So that point's a bit mute. But what I'm saying is, if he wasn't, what would you rather? Be Gangnam Style guy or loaded?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I think we're both in agreement there. Tick.
We are both in agreement.
So my second.
Yeah, you go.
My second one. I've got two more. Would you rather hear or see?
Oh, so if I was to not have one, what would I wouldn't?
Yeah, would you rather be blind or would you rather be deaf? Vision impaired or hearing impaired?
It's a really hard one.
It's a hard one.
I'm like...
Because my initial thing is, mate, sight for sure. Because then I can just see what's going on. But then no music. Oh.
Your love. That was your love the other day. Music. Yeah, that's a really hard one, I reckon.
That's a hard one.
Someone answered it really quickly the other day, I remember. But I can't remember why they were so certain of it. I don't know.
I feel like if you chose hearing, I feel like
your life would be way limited. If you're blind, you can't do anything.
I'm sorry. If you were blind, yes, that would be a significant disability. However, can you imagine how much your other senses would be heightened?
You can't see.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, yes, you can't see, but your imagination would be incredible.
I would say sight is also the most used sense as well.
Is it though? What about touch? What about hearing? What about taste?
Taste is rarely compared to all the others. Taste is
What about sixth sense?
Say
Jason?
that 5 times fast.
I couldn't say it the first time.
Uh,
All right. Okay, so that's a tricky one. We might need to get back to Okay, my last one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Slow jams or power ballads?
Slow jams. Can you give me an example of it? So,
All
give
right.
me an example of a slow jam and then a
Oh,
power ballad.
Okay, all right. What about like Sensitivity from Ralph Tresvant? Is that how we say? Or Tresvant? Or You're the Inspiration by Chicago?
You're the inspiration.
Come on, that's hard.
I'd go slow jams.
Me too.
I would just go back to my old school. Like, I used to love Jodeci.
Yeah.
R&B group. I was way into them hard. They're like by far my favorite group of all time. And then
You can't beat a slow jam.
In that genre, sorry, not of all time.
Yes.
And I remember listening to it. I was introducing Annie to some of it. I'm like, you gotta listen to this music. It's hilarious.
It's great.
I put on Jodeci. I wanna freak you. I wanna freak you. Every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling so horny. What is that? How is that even a song?
Hey, I tell you what, the 90s really churned out some racy tracks. That slow jam genre, man. Like it's almost like, and it wasn't just the slow jams, it was the dance music as well. I didn't even realize how racy it was at the time. I listen to the lyrics now. I'm like, oh. I'm just all freak me, baby. Yeah.
What about?
Not really thinking about.
Is Pony a slow jam? It's not really fast. Like, it's a really hard song to dance to.
I would not call that a slow jam. I wouldn't. That is just.
It's a slow song.
No, that is just like royalty R&B, royalty 90s R&B. It's not a slow jam. So, to me, slow jam is like Boys to Men. All for One. Color Me Bad. Oh, that's not a slow jam though. But I'm talking about that kind of, Sensitivity. They're slow jams.
Yeah.
Do you know who crushes it? Two of my sort of new school slow jams favorites would be Usher and Neo, man. They slay slow jams. They slay them. They do
Usher.
new school. Yeah. Oh.
You make me want to leave the one I'm
Oh! Straight out the gate, debut with us. Oh, come on.
All right, I've got my first one for you.
Okay, so are we? Okay, so we're both in agreement with Rich over Famous. We're both in agreement of slow jams over power ballads. We don't know whether we want to hear or see. We're gonna have to put a pin in that, brother.
Okay, we'll see if we get there by the end of the session.
I can tell you right now, if we pick sight, then we won't be hearing any slow jams or power ballads. Just add that to your criteria.
Okay, Southside, I got one for you.
Bring it.
Would you rather never eat your favorite food or have sex again? That's a really good one. I read that, I was like, oh, wow, that's a tough choice.
I think food. What's yours?
You'd never have your favorite food again? So you'd rather have the sex and not the food?
Oh, so it's not favorite foods. It's just one favorite food, just one dish.
Your favorite food, not food.
Oh.
You're like food in general. Is that what you
No.
said?
I thought you meant like favorite foods in general, like just one dish.
It says favorite food. So what's your favorite food?
Oh, I've got heaps. Mauritian food.
Let's go favorite foods.
Okay, my favorite food's Mauritian.
No. So choose between your favorite foods. So none of those favorites you could eat versus sex.
I think we're back to vision and sight and hearing. Oh, I don't know. What's yours? You don't know either.
It's like,
Oh,
sex is awesome. Your favorite foods are awesome. Awesome. That's when you use awesome, right? Yeah, perfect.
yeah. Okay, that's awesome in that context. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I don't think I can just give you a solid answer. I need to contemplate that one. Sorry. Have you got an answer?
No.
Right. Because you're thinking of
Probably
Mauritian.
I'd prefer to get rid of the favorite food because I'll learn to love something else.
There are other foods.
I can make my own new favorite food.
Yeah. It's hard. Next.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather never have
Yeah.
the internet
Yeah.
or music?
Oh. I would rather not have the internet. Any day
Not
of the
have-
week.
Not have the internet.
Oh, straight. No. Absolutely 100% no question.
So rewind back to CDs, done. That's the end of technology.
Mate, I hate technology.
Okay, well, that's an easy one to answer then, really, isn't it?
Well,
There's none of this.
No.
There's none of this happening.
Yeah, but I would just say if it's the choice between me, no, I would never give up music. No. I would give up Mauritian food before I gave up music.
Oh, so you would give up sex over music?
Probably. Probably. Probably.
Interesting. See how I did that? Because you couldn't pick out of the other ones.
Yes.
So that one greater than those?
Who could live without music? That is insane. That is insane. There's no way. There's, for me, no contest. Have the internet, man. Not interested. I'll go back to like Encyclopedia Britannica.
What was the thing? No, I remember the first interactive CD-ROM. What was it called? Encarta. It was the first CD-ROM encyclopedia. It had It had video.
Yeah,
You're like, ooh,
yes.
elephants are really weird.
Yes.
And now that is trash compared to what we
Oh.
have now.
My kids didn't know what a CD was. They do now.
Oh,
They
really?
didn't know. Yeah, because why would they know? They don't use them. Because they've always had free to air and Netflix. So, no idea what they do now. But, you know, I have been asked the question, what's a CD? Okay, so what's your third one?
Yeah, it's tough.
So what's yours? Technology or music?
I can't even answer that one either. Internet, not technology.
Oh, internet. Okay, I'm sorry. Internet. Yeah, of course. Internet or music. Are you serious? Are you seriously contemplating?
Yeah, the internet's amazing.
Music's
You know
better.
how much smarter I am because of the internet?
Who cares? Who wants to be smart if you can't have music? I would pick music over intelligence any day of the week.
You get your priorities wrong, mate.
Nah, I've got them simpler life. I'm all about the simple life. I don't care about evolving. I mean, I do. I do care about evolving.
So actually, technically, what we can do after this, if we decide, is you can know if you're going to have food, be blind. So you got to add them all.
Listening to slow jams.
That's pretty funny, actually. What's your profile on the hardest questions? Oh, okay, so you're a blind guy. No, you're a deaf guy who'll choose music. Okay, that doesn't work that way at all.
It doesn't work that way at all.
Are you a fan of money? Like, do you aspire to be rich?
No.
Okay, I won't ask you that question then.
No. I mean, hey, I would love to be rich.
Yeah.
I would love, but I don't aspire. Like, it's not my driving. I'm not driven by it. No.
Oh, I like this one. Have a photographic memory.
Yeah.
Or have a photographic memory, or be able to forget anything you want.
Oh, photographic memory.
Photographic memory.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. There you go. I wouldn't need the internet because I remember everything. Boom.
But you need it. You need the information first before you can store it.
Yeah, then I can just get it from books.
Mate, you'd be blind.
Oh, I have to enlist that braille.
That would be the worst, actually.
Not for them, mate. There's lots of supports.
It's like Morse code on your finger.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's way too much brain capacity. I'd rather just see it. I think I'm deaf.
Because that's what you used to. But there are people that are vision impaired that are highly successful.
Yeah, it's but possible. You can't see anything.
I know. No, Jason, you can't.
Yeah, but you know. All right. What's next, mate?
All right. So, yeah, talking about lockdown. Back in jail. How's that been with a newborn baby, mate?
Oh, COVID baby.
COVID baby. Can we please not call him COVID baby?
No.
I don't like calling him that.
I won't call him COVID baby. You think I'm going to go, hey, I remember that time when you were born. Do you know anything about COVID? You're like, what are you talking about? COVID with the baby. So,
how's that been, mate? Yep.
I think we were like maybe 5 or 6 weeks after Bowie was born.
Mm-hmm.
Before the first lockdown started. So
5 weeks old.
So technically, I'd only been working in the office for maybe 3 weeks.
Yep.
In total before, like, in that gap as well. So it's kind of weird where I actually said something to Annie the other day and she agreed with me really hard. So I was like, oh, it must be true. And I was like, I literally think I have become the best version of me that I've ever been. And I think this moment has kind of helped it happen.
Okay.
So I think the setup of being home all the time with a new baby is just you couldn't get it any better than that. I almost think it should be the future maternity leave. If you can't get more than the ridiculous only 2 weeks for blokes, well, make it half days working from home.
Yes.
Something like that.
100% agreed. And I think that this season has really shown workplaces that it's an option. Things can get done via technology and via the internet, and the world keeps turning.
Like our business is doing just fine in the setup that we have. I actually almost imagine that a lot of us have been actually more productive, especially someone like me who, when I'm in a crowd, I like to talk to people. So, you know, being not home, not at work, it probably makes me a lot more productive.
Well, Matt said the same thing, which was really odd because
he doesn't talk to you.
No, well, not while he's working from home. No, because our kids are older than yours, right? So we had to make a very, very firm boundary, and we had to say when Dad's working from home, Dad is working from home, and if that door's shut, you don't go to him, you don't speak to him, you don't, that's
exactly what we've got, how we got it.
Yeah, Dad's at work, and I feel like he was really stripped down of all the distractions. So he just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, He'd come out for lunch or, make a coffee or something like that, but that's about it. Like, he was really super productive. And I think that demonstrates, the more I speak to people, the more they had that kind of structure in their home, whereas like, all the kids are like, yay, Daddy's home. And it's like, actually not. Between this time and this time, Daddy's at work. He's going to finish up. He's going to be home. He's going to be available to you a little bit earlier than normal, but we need to respect that that's, and my kids got it. It took them a little while, but they got it. But my point is, I think people everywhere are going, well, okay, well, why can't this be the new normal? If you want to go, into the office, okay. Sometimes you need to for meetings, but even that, it's like almost everything I'm doing, like if I've got an appointment or my first question is, can we do this via Zoom?
Yeah, the weird, I believe what people have not really spoken about as well is the amount of gained time in the world.
Oh,
like as in,
it's incredible.
That the commute, even if people work on the road, commuting, I would estimate maybe an hour and 10 or 20 minutes a day for me was. So I get 7 hours back in a week.
Yeah.
Or six hours. About 7 hours.
It's and I think the same could be said for me on a much smaller scale, but it still adds up. Is school drop off, okay, and not having to organise 3 children before 8 a.m. and get them to school on time. But when you take that out of my day, I probably accumulated somewhere about 3 hours a day without all that stuff, without the pick up, the drop off, the settling, the dressing, not only 3 hours, but the rush and the anxiety attached to those time slots in my day. And I can't tell you how many parents said to me exactly what my experience was, is the change in the kids, because they weren't being like herded out, like quick, like my feeling on this. I don't feel like that's the way it's supposed to be. Yes, I'm pro homeschool. I'm also pro mainstream. I don't think it needs to be one way or the other. But that was another reason that just sort of solidified for me that school in its traditional context is far more stressful than it needs to be. Far more stressful. And I think everybody felt it. Parents were like, oh my gosh, my kids are finished by 11 o'clock. I'm like, yeah.
The weird part is people aren't going to realise how awesome it is if, to an extent, everything, well, you guys are probably living through it a little bit now, where there is that sort of work at home acceptance.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world is just still working as per normal. Like, so you get that time back and you get to enjoy the world as per.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a game changer. Like, it really has.
Do you think
changed my view on work as well? Like, as in, like I was thinking about the other day where I'm like, there's some days, and I don't even care if my managers hear this, but there'll be some days where, I might need to do something and it takes me 2 hours to do around the home, something like that. But the difference is now I have this spare capacity at night, like I'm doing now, but it's always between 8 and say 12:30 that I have spare times, and because Annie's sleeping, resting, and the kids are down, and I'm just basically holding fort while Bowie's sleeping, just in case he rustles or whatever it is. And because I have that time, I'm like, I want to be productive, so I actually do work at night as well if I need to.
Yeah,
so
right.
The way I look at it is I try and get at least my 7.5 hours of work in just in that day. Like, most of the time it is during the allotted time, but if I need to do something or whatever, I'm confident that even if I haven't even asked, that my bosses would be comfortable with me doing what I've done because I'm actually making up for it, and I typically go over and above anyway. So
and I think it also gives people the opportunity to work, because everyone's brain's different, Jay. So some my brain is firing in the morning. That's when I get my best work. But I know lots of people who get the most productivity at night. They can, like you, I mean, I would always study during the day, but you would always study at night. You would watch a movie, and then you would go get dinner, and then I'm like, what is this guy? And then you would start open your books at like 10:30 p.m. And I'm like, what? And ace it, because that's when your brain is its most productive. And I think this whole work from home paradigm is going to enable people to work at their most effective, like at their full capacity, at the timing that suits their brains. It's a thing. It's an actual thing. And that's my contention with school as well, because it's like 9 to 3,
cookie
this
cutter.
is and it's like, okay, what if your brain doesn't really work yet? You're not a daytime learner, but you smash it out, in the afternoon. I don't know.
From a productivity level, I think as long as the work's getting done,
yes,
that's all that really matters. And I actually had a great conversation with one of my directors about it, and he was of the same opinion. He's like, because he's, funny enough, like, so 2 of us have got newborns at the same time. So we've been really obviously connecting on that level as well, obviously by having the kids. So it's been quite good to also have someone going through it at the same time. And it's funny seeing things like how he's doing things like giving his partner a break, because obviously it's been a tough night, and he takes Billy, her name's Billy, she's such a cute name actually, and goes for a pram walk for 2.5 hours, like, to get the baby out of the house, because they live in a smaller apartment. So, and I'm like, that sounds exactly like what I used to do with Lucy.
You used to do that with Lucy.
Yeah, it's like that whole, what am I going to do? I'll just take her out, because that place was so small. So you know, to we've like really upgraded our life at the moment compared to then.
Yeah.
And he went and got herself noise cancelling earphones as well.
Yeah.
So with her door closed, the noise cancelling earphones on, Bowie's door closed, she doesn't hear the crying.
Oh,
So
that's
she can actually get
so
a good...
good. I'm proud of you. I'm really
Oh
proud.
yeah, so now we've got this routine where we try and get him down about 7. And like I said, I hold the fort probably up until about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And he goes to bed about 9:30. And we hope that, you know, I look after him up until that time, and I actually do a bottle feed at like 12:30.
Yes.
And he gets through to about 3:30. So and he gets like a good 6 hours in a row. So
yes.
It's
and
just,
Annie, and we did the same thing, and then Annie gets a full 6 hours as well.
yeah, so it's really worked out well that way where, you know, if I need to stay up late, it means that, you know, I'm getting up at, you know, 7:30, 8 o'clock every day. So that's fine. Like I'm still getting 6.5, 7.5 hours every day.
Yep. No, it's
sleep.
exactly what we did. That's what we did. And it saved us because, you know, I need to go to sleep early. Matt doesn't. So he was able to give that rollover feed at like 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
Go to bed, and then I would be up at like 3, something like that. And by that time, like I'd go to bed at probably earlier, probably around 8. I'd had a decent amount of sleep. Feed the baby. Baby goes back to sleep, and I sleep then for another 3 hours. Like that is decent for a new mum. That's decent sleep. Yeah, I wouldn't have had it any other way. But I tell you what, those early days, man, that is real.
Oh, first versus second.
That is
always
real.
the biggest jump of all time, I reckon.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Cool. Well, there you go. That's
COVID
our show.
baby, good.
COVID baby, great. Love him. Haven't seen him yet. I'm really, really angry about that.
All right. Have you got 3 more minutes?
I've got 3 minutes. What do you got to show me, Jay?
Well, I discovered this show one of my co-workers told me about, and I'm like, Sally, I think you will like this.
Okay.
It's called...
The reason for that?
I don't know. It's just a crap...
oh, thank you.
it's the crap makeover show, and I'm like,
excellent.
Sally, you're right for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm flattered or insulted, but anyway, roll the tape.
Mate, I know you're going to love it. So what we're about to watch now is a show called Girlfriend Intervention. It's the trailer for it. So apparently it's a show about 4 black women who make over a white woman.
And that's the show.
Yeah, I think that's the show. So let's see what we got here.
What do we got?
This is Girlfriend Intervention.
This is what Sam used to look like walking a dog. And this is what Sam looks like now. Ow! Work it.
This looks really good.
Makes you want to pull over and get that thing started.
I think you might have to go with her to walk the dog.
Yeah, honey, because she gonna need security.
She looks great. She's smiling big, and to see her really owning it is really nice.
Okay, everyone. This is what Sam used to look like for a job interview. But look at her now.
I like those pants.
Wow.
Sam, you can be my boss anytime, girl.
Your boyfriend's like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, look at me, so happy.
Yes. She just looks amazing. Like, where did that girl come from?
I love it. Amazing. Doesn't she look like a model?
Oh yeah, she looks great.
All right, guys, this is what Sam used to wear on date night. And this is her now.
She's all right. What's wrong with that?
definitely an upgrade though.
Yeah, but it wasn't terrible.
Set your
So it's basically how
She looks happy with it. That's the main thing, right?
nothing beats confidence, eh?
Transformation.
Yes, honey.
Wow.
Okay. As long as she's happy, I'm happy.
Everyone's got a bit of renovation in them.
Yeah. Everyone's got room for renovation. I've lost you. There you are.
You say that every time you go to a different screen, mate.
Technology. Told ya. We're not friends.
All right. You know if you're gonna be
I would
deaf
enjoy.
or
I
blind?
would enjoy watching that show.
You would? Okay, cool.
Sure.
It's on 7 catch up.
Okay. Because I don't watch TV, so I need to do catch up things.
Do you know how to use that? Maybe just ask Matt.
I'd intend to.
Okay, before we go, are you deaf or blind?
Oh, I think I'm deaf.
See, I know. I choose deaf too. The more that's why I kept on saying, but she can't see.
Yeah, you got to make a call, don't you? Eventually.
Mm.
Mm.
And I definitely would take sex. Not the
Over biryani.
favorite foods. Yeah, over biryani. Yeah, definitely. I'm letting go of the biryani.
We'll find a new favorite.
All right.
All right.
Is there anything we need to cover? Are you good?
Have a think about what you want to talk about next week. Hit subscribe.
We're
Hit
at
that-
90 subscribers now. Whoa.
Hit that bell.
90 subscribers. If we get to 3 figures, I'm going to have a little champagne.
We're going to have a little party.
Yes,
just need
100
10
subscribers.
more
That
and
means 100 people, like 100 random people went, boop, it's only 100. But, I don't know, it's nice to know that people like what we're doing, even if it's only, 10 handfuls.
What did I tell you before this show started? From little things, big things grow.
Mm.
I don't know how big, but they grow.
Tell you what, if we get to 500 subscribers, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, me too. Let's do it.
All right, Salsa, you enjoy
All
the
right,
rest of
bro.
your week, mate.
Yeah, you too. And I'll speak to you next week.